Alright, hello everybody, Tiny Terror here, bringing you something different. We are going to be covering the most recent devblog by the Isle developers. This is devblog number 23, released yesterday, March 31st. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Friday, let's go! Party time, baby! If you're following anything on my channel, we play the Isle, we haven't played Path of Titans, we've played Path of Titans, but I haven't streamed it or done any video content. There will be some stuff coming in the future with that particular game. We played other games too, like Animalia Survival. This is kind of our niche. We do survivalist games, RPG style. But anyway, I digress. We're here, of course, for this devblog. Very exciting. Obviously, they are working on Update 5, which is implementing and going to reintroduce some aspects that were present in the Isle Legacy branch. All these additions are going to be basically Legacy, but on steroids, which we will find as we read through this. So, I'm going to read everything word for word from each developer. Bear with me, I'm a fast reader. We'll get through this nice and quick, and I'll maybe make a comment here or there, maybe ask myself some questions and ask you guys some questions. So if you have anything to comment or say about this devblog, the game in general, or if you're excited for Update 5, leave a comment. Let's chat. Let's talk about this game, because it's coming along. So, without further ado, let's just hop right into it. So first, our first dev is Tesaro, the lead programmer. Here's what he has to say. I spent most of this month developing the skin system. We tested a wide variety of different designs to find which one was best, and then we started to add the swatches that each animal can access for each customizable part of the body. We even tried an eye-drop color picker system, but in the end, we decided it is best to have a chosen list of swatches that we can expand over time. Below is an updated image of the main panel. Keep in mind, it is a work in progress and more colors, options or features can be added as we move forward in development. Nice. So this kind of looks like how it did in Legacy Isle. So there's definitely some different things added to the screen here. You can pause an animation, so maybe the dinosaur will be walking, trotting, running, while we customize the skin, so that could be cool. Something different. You can preview the growth cycle of the dinosaur with the slider here, so pretty neat. So you can start from the very beginning, and then as you grow your dinosaur here in QuickTime, you can see the colors start to appropriate. So that's definitely a nice little quality of life thing. And of course, here's all your different assets for the skin customization, so pretty standard. So some QOL, quality of life, were added, such as being able to pause animations. Terra also has an option to toggle standing or gliding animations, see growth previews in real time, rotate in any direction, and a very useful button to randomize the skin. In addition to the random button, players are also able to lock each section, such as mail display, markings, etc., that should not be modified by the random button. Not only that, players can also lock the individual colors of each section, as shown below. Nice. So, let's say you really like red as your mail display. So you lock that into place, and then when you randomize the skin customization, it's going to affect everything except for your mail display. So let's say you're sold on red, or you're sold on yellow for your dinosaur. I mean, that's pretty cool. And then you just keep hitting random until you find a cool configuration of colors and markings that, is going to jive with you. You're going to be vibing. And there's a brightness and saturation sliders here, so that's definitely going to introduce some more diversity within the species, which will be good. So you can stand apart from other members of your species or your pack. But I imagine the colors that are available for Utahraptor won't be the same as the colors available for, let's say, Tenontosaurus or for Carnosaurus. So each dinosaur species is going to have its own subset of colors that will be unique only to that species. So the brightness and saturation sliders will definitely help members of the same species diversify basically. So by right mouse button clicking at a color, we'll paint it in black, blocking it from the random generator, allowing you to have more control of what colors from the random generator should use. Then using the brightness and saturation sliders, players can have more control of how the dino will look like. Another nice feature added is the ability to share skins with anyone. By clicking the export button, the code will be generated for the current skin of that animal. Copy it by clicking the code and send it to your friends or anybody. They can just click the import button, paste the code, and boom, save it, and it is yours. So I don't know if that's something that was being requested by a lot of players, maybe in Legacy Branch or even in Evrima. I don't see this as being necessary, but I could also see how, let's say you want to run a Utah pack and you want everyone to have the same colors, then, that's one way that you could achieve that, is by exporting your color and your skin customization to other members of your pack. So that's cool. Pretty neat. Players can also choose different patterns for that animal, and we can add and expand that as we please in the future. Besides the skin system, as always, I've been working on bug fixes and improvements to several mechanics of the game. Thanks, and see you next time. Cool. So that wraps up what Tesaro had to say about his leg of the Update 5 development. We're going to move on to DM4, who is the programmer. I continued my work on nesting this month. First of all, there is a new temperature system which plays a role in the incubation of the eggs. Temperature decreases gradually on its own, and you have different ways to increase it. In the case of mound nests, where the eggs are exposed, you have to sit on the eggs to warm them up. Debris nests have good insulation and don't require much maintenance, but if the temperature becomes too low, you will have to add more debris to the nest to warm the eggs back up. Nice, that's pretty cool. The temperature bar is broken up into 4 sections. In the ideal range, green, the eggs will incubate properly, while in the neutral range, white, nothing happens to them. If they are too cold, which is shown by blue, or too hot, red, you will start losing incubation progress. Once your progress goes back to 0, your eggs will rot. We leave the door open to the temperature possibly being affected by the biome, weather, and time of day, but that's something for the future. The next bigger task I tackled was hatching from eggs. For this, I had to enable hatchlings first. Fortunately, they were already set up for the most part. There's just a few smaller changes and bugs left to fix for them. Then I had to adjust our spawn system to support spawning into a nest, and then finally I added the actual hatching mechanic. We want to get the players into the game quickly, so after shaking around in the egg a few times, you will see your dinosaur pop out, and you can begin your adventure. Nice, so just recapping that, definitely interested in the incubation process. It's pretty cool that, there's going to be a range, the ideal range being green, and white would be neutral, as they said, and then there's blue and red for the polar opposites, which you don't want to be in. Now, I wonder if the ideal range will differ between different dinosaur species. Like, maybe it's just harder to birth in Nontosaurus, or it's harder to birth in larger predators, like Carnosaurus. So that could be interesting. Another thing that I wonder if, not in the, the official servers, but in custom servers, I wonder if people can turn off, spawns. Like, maybe the only way you can get into that server is if you are birthed in. I don't know. I don't even know if that's something worth doing, or if that will be control that a moderator will have for their server, but that could be a cool way of running a server, at least in my mind. If you think so, or if you think that's complete trash and it should never be attempted, let me know in the comments. Alright, let's move on to Hypno, who's the QA lead. Just a short post from me this time. Besides the QA team's constant bug testing on both the skin system and nesting, we've been looking at the new server queuing system that Amarok has been developing more recently. This system, as you would expect, allows players to queue up for servers that are at maximum capacity. Excitingly, it also allows for server administrators to skip the queue and even join a server if it's full. avoiding any instance where they cannot enter the server to attend their moderation duties. See the video below for how the queuing system actually looks in action. So let's check that out pretty quick here. We had a 4. Okay. Oh, we're at a 5 now. Cool. Look at the Yankee back there. Wow. Whoa. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, not much to say there that I can think of. I mean, a queue system is definitely it's something that I've seen other players demand for or express desire for. Yeah, and I guess it'll give people hope. You know, like you want to get into NA2, and you're 5 out of 5. Well, okay, 5 people have to leave. I mean, I don't know. It might give people, it might help retain people looking to join a particular server, which might matter more to you if you're trying to run a custom server and you're trying to drive player traffic to your server, if that's something that you're looking for as a moderator of your own server. So, pretty cool. All right, onward to Tapwing, who is the 2D artist. This month I had a few things going on. Where's my music? This month I had a few things going on, working on building concepts and getting another set of nature sketches started, but the thing that I've been most excited to work on this month is testing the skin system. The initial phase was spent zeroing in on what the team wanted the skin system to even look like. Do we want swatches? Do we want sliders? How much range do we want to give players? And what customization additions could we make in the future? After some testing, what we've got now is a mix of swatches and sliders to allow for more precise color tweaking. Once the UI was brought to a point where it felt good to use, it was on to the fun but somewhat tedious part, color selection. Not only is each dinosaur going to have different colors available to it, each pattern layer will also have its own color selection as well. So that was a few days spent just narrowing selections down per category from what I would say was the maximum color range we could potentially use across the roster. The goal with this idea was to allow as many color choices as we can while still holding players to a mostly natural variance between the same dinosaur species. Cool. So we kind of already touched on this, I think, up above. Yep. So there's a palette of colors available to Isle players, and it's limited. And certain colors, I think, will only be available to certain species. And of course, as I was saying, the brightness and saturation sliders will allow for, I think, a solid degree of variance between members of the same species. So there will be like interspecies diversity as well as just an overall biodiversity across the Isle and all the species on the roster. So pretty neat. Wedge, the sound designer. I've been working on sounds for a new AI creature that will be appearing across the Isle in the near future. Okay. Pterodactylus. This small scavenging creature's significant function is to mob and annoy players, eat their food, and give away their position. For this reason, the main quality of the creature's vocals had to be irritating. To tackle this, I'm creating an array of distinct and unusual vocalizations, each one unique for the associated action. When a player is mobbed by a group, they will hear a chorus of all the various sounds, resulting in a cacophony of annoyance. Passive sounds, like its idle or low, ugly clucking sounds. When hopping around, they will produce a playful warble. Attacks will sound like an aggressive cackle, as if mocking the player. And its dying sound consists of a harsh, grating screech, mixed with its signature gargle. Among other sounds, it will also have a couple of calls which I'm experimenting with to create something unique. The Pterodactylus as an AI creature is intended to be very vocal in order to give away player location. However, thinking about this brought the current situation of idle vocals for our current roster of playables to my attention, and the impact they have on maintaining stealth while playing. Idle sounds have now been significantly reduced in volume when standing and resting, and totally removed from idle crouch animations, aiming to strike a balance between audio immersion and gameplay functionality. I've also created a suite of egg cracking sounds that will accompany the hatching mechanic with a variety of intensities depending on the size of the egg. I've compiled these into 2 different subsets of sounds. The initial cracking as the egg shakes and the hatchling stresses the outer structure of the shell, and then a more intense and hollow sounding crack that occurs the moment the hatchling quickly bursts out. Cool. So basically, we're seeing the introduction of a new AI creature that's going to have a similar function to the compies in the Isle, except that it will actually also be serving an additional function in the Isle of environment by essentially calling out other players, or perhaps just crowding down bodies. So you maybe you'll see like a flock of these flying around in the distance. You know, that's food. And maybe you didn't necessarily sniff out the food, but you see those pterodactylus or pterodactyli? Is that plural for pterodactyl? Pterodactyli? I don't know. Alright, yeah, so that's cool. I'm a little worried about how irritating the vocals will be. I'll be honest, Hypsilophodon for me, I like playing Hypsy, but I don't like calling out as it. At least not the broadcast. The broadcast literally reminds me of Monster Zero from the Monster Universe, the Monsterverse, King Ghidorah. That's what it sounds like. That's what Hypsy sounds like to me, King Ghidorah. Yeah. So I'm hoping that the sounds are natural sounding. At least, that's my concern there. So, and I mean egg sounds. That's cool. I would hope there'd be egg sounds. Because that just adds to the entire experience of being birthed in or hatching from your egg. Yeah, they're gonna fucking love this. Spending all that time incubating their eggs, and then players will be just born into existence. Pretty cool. Alright, and last but not least, Kissin, the producer. Another month down and a heap of progress made. The production cycle for Update 5 has mostly been filled with prototyping of tweaking of systems. We hit the ground running with this update, so we were able to run a fair amount of tests. We've trialed several different iterations of the skin system and nesting system, and some other additions that are to come at a later date. With the progress we have made on the update being substantial, we are finally comfortable showing you more of what we've been up to and what these systems are going to provide. We'll also be including a new and unexpected blast from the past, Pterodactylus, who you're likely going to love to hate or hate to love. Let me know in the comments section which one of these two, which camp are you going to be in, the love to hate or the hate to love? This entry is going to be short and sweet, as we've got all hands on deck to round out a few more finishing touches and to tie up some loose ends. But we'll be dropping some clips for you soon that span Update 5 features and future creatures coming into the game. We know the skin and nesting systems have been something long awaited for, and we're excited to get it into your hands. So, you're saying that again. Let's check this out here quick. Oh, sorry about that. Let's start that over. Let's get this, do this the right way. Oh, poor Hypsy. Oh shit. Almost got snatched. Nice. Alright. Cool. Cool stuff. Yep, so that's gonna wrap it up. I won't go into much more detail here. You know, some exciting stuff they're bringing to the table. Obviously, we've known for a while now what Update 5 is bringing, so it's just nice to see, you know, not anything that's finished, but I mean, a lot of this stuff is probably going to require polishing by the dev standards, but yeah, it's exciting stuff. It's good to see like what they've been working on. So the skin customization looks cool. I think they're doing a good job of keeping the skin colors natural, as opposed to something that BOB does, which, I mean, they allow for natural skin coloration, but they also allow for some crazy, like, neon highlighter looking colors, which some people are keen on and some people are not keen on. No, but the Isle, I think, has always been, I think, more realism based than BOB has. So that's not a bash on BOB. That's just personal taste on my part. I also haven't played BOB either, so I've watched plenty of channels, content creators play it. Yeah. So that's cool. Excited for the incubation. Yeah, and Pterodactylus. So those are some of the big features, like the feature components to this update 5. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna just wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. Let me know how I did. It's not necessary to read everything word for word, but I don't mind doing it. Maybe people don't feel like reading, so if they would rather just listen to somebody read everything word for word, um, hey, why the hell not? I got nothing to do. Yeah, so let me know how I did. If you liked this, if this was informative, helpful, if it generated any excitement. Um, Maybe you haven't been playing and now you're like, oh shit, maybe I'm gonna, re-download this and see what's going on right now in the game. Um, no, leave a like, leave a subscribe if you enjoy this content. If you enjoy anything else I've done with the channel so far, posted some videos, mostly been doing some streams, which I'll be streaming tonight. Um, don't know if we're doing an Isle stream. Not sure what I'm streaming yet, but it will be uh something awesome. So, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. My voice is actually kind of sore. Yeah. So until next time, guys. Thank you so much. I would love to do more stuff like this. So let me know if you think I should. Yeah, that's it. So thanks, guys. And again, have a blessed day. Enjoy your Friday night. Don't party too hard. All right. And enjoy your April Fool's Day. If you got an April Fool's Day joke for me, leave it in the comments below. All right. Until next time, guys. Adios.